Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to FRLT Tier 1 here in Season 3. This time we come to round number 9 of Season number 3. I am joined alongside by my good friend Will. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. What about you?
I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright. We're having a couple of problems. Drivers struggling with the F1 game right now because it's deciding to be garbage.
Do you reckon we should drive instead?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a few people are struggling to get in right now. We're kind of, I think we've got 3 or 4 drivers missing right now. So we will take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
We're going to be going in about 5 minutes time. I'm giving 5 minutes because I do know quite a few people are having some problems tonight, so I am giving people a little bit of extra time. But out of all of that, let's have a look at the calendar for this season. We've now made it past most of the season successfully. Australia, China, Singapore, Vegas. We got through Christmas, of course. Then we've done Monza, Austria, Britain, and Kota last week. This week we come to Abu Dhabi, and next week will be the finale in Belgium. Hello, F1 Shorts. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, that's interesting. We got, of course, we have Abu Dhabi this week. Is anybody on PlayStation? Somebody is struggling to get in. We've got a 15th driver. We're waiting on, I think, 3 more. I think some people just haven't responded at all. I think we've got a driver who's just not doing anything, who's on Destiny, by the way.
Oh no.
So I think no EVR tonight, so we might be down to 17. So we'll be going at about 8 past. So we've got about another 3 minutes.
Anyway, for standings wise, AMS I've now absolutely gapped the entire field on a whopping 204 points. The only team that has more than 200 points. But for second, LR, they've had a really good start to the season, but
Very much. I'll
they
actually
just
take it to the standings quickly. Because I actually do need to look at this myself because I'm a bit dumb. Yeah, like you said, AMS on top, pure domination so far. 3 wins in a row, a hat-trick of victories. 204 points, LR in second on 134. Yet to win this season, but still second in the standings. XR8 in Kota overtook AB for third in the championship, only by 1 point, but it is enough. We're only about 3 minutes away, 2-3 minutes from beginning, but HRT taking a podium as well, some big points, pulling them up the order. TTRE as well, same as VEL, who overtake ETE. So a couple of changes in the standings, but not a huge amount of changes. Only 2 changes at the moment, so not a lot. Trying to figure out who is doing what at the moment, because we're waiting on, I think, 1 more driver, because we're missing, I think, 2 drivers. They're not going to be joining tonight. I think one of them is Sakir. I'll just give him a quick ping, and then we'll get going in a second.
Jen, I think. That's Martin.
We might be having 17. Or, sorry, 16. Either way. We're going to get going now. We are going to get going, finally. I do apologise for the long wait we've had. I do understand that it's a bit boring waiting. Yeah, I know we need face cams. I know, Ethan. I know. But we're too poor to do it. Is the pure truth. We're just a bit too poor, if I'm being completely honest with you. So going into this race, would you say would you say this sort of tier 1 crown has kind of been put on AMS's head already? You know, have they already gotten that crown for season 3?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like AMS, as I said before, they're the only team to have more than 200 points, and I'm pretty sure the only way LR can even remotely have a title challenge is if they won 2 and with the fastest lap, and AMS just have like a stinker or just double DNF.
Yeah, I think when you look at AMS again, it's been a very consistent season. It was more their first 4 races that were poor. Not necessarily poor. They got 2 wins in all of it, but you know what I mean. They were very up and down. They'd have one bad race, one sort of mediocre race. They started the season in Australia not too well. I think it was P6 or P7. Hello, Izzy. No clue who that is. Hello. I'm just being, I don't know. By the way, I am reading YouTube chat, if you're wondering. It is quite interesting. So, essentially, yeah, tonight is going to be, I think, an interesting one to see. But yeah, I think AMS, their worst performance was probably round 3 of the season. But that's really been their lowest this season. They haven't gone much lower than that. They've very much been on top of their game. I think we both agree with. They've been on top of their game so far. Very much. But yeah, they've been on top of their game completely. And that's just sort of the way it is, isn't it? I don't think anybody's kind of really gotten close to them so far. But yeah.
Right, let's go.
We're finally in. We're finally getting away. I do apologise again, only 16 drivers tonight. We were supposed to have 18 for tonight. I think, yeah, we were supposed to have 18 because we were missing just 2 drivers tonight from EVR. Yeah, so that's a bit of an annoying one, of course. First driver out is Daniel. He is the first man out on track. And in that Williams VEL, would you say they've had a decent season so far for joining sort of midway through?
I mean, let me just check this standings. Like, yeah, let me just quickly load up. Oh yeah, they're 7th. Yeah, I mean, like, what round did they join again?
I think it was round 3 or 4.
Yeah, round 3. Yeah, they definitely had a solid and consistent run.
Missing one driver. Sorry, I'm reading this. Yeah, I do believe they're missing one driver tonight. I'm surprised they're missing one driver. I think they are missing one. Nobody's told me anything, by the way. So I don't know why they only have one, but yeah, continue.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, but VEL have done really well. They've been really consistent, really. You always seem like 10th to you always seem the top 10, really. And even with Simba grabbing pole in Silverstone, I definitely didn't see that just now. But like, you know,
it's the way they.
So yeah, I think they've had a very consistent. Yeah.
They started off sort of getting P10, P9 positions, and now they found themselves, you know, up into almost a sort of title, almost a sort of pushing for maybe top sort of 6, top 5 in the standings, pushing TTRE a bit. But Daniel on his lap so far, up through sector 1, through the long turn 3, flat out pretty much for most of this sector, before you reach the hairpin, the changed hairpin, of course, at the start of sector 2. I don't like it as much as the old layout. Opening the rear wing for the first time on this lap, with the DRS down this long back straight. There's 2 of them. Down here they go into then a 90-degree left followed by another about 90-degree right as well, just hitting with those quite squarish sort of corners. Heading round now, the left-hander goes Daniel up towards the end of the middle sector into sector 3. He goes, throwing the car through this revamped turn 3, which also changed a bit on F124. Very slightly, the curbing on the exit changed. Now through this very quick double right-hander into a, well, triple right-hander really, and then through the double left-hander over the curb, over the slight raise. Got to get the car out a bit wider to use the whole track now through the penultimate corner. Into the final corner goes Daniel. He's not going to have any traffic. Very nice timing from the VEL driver, and it's a 1 minute 22.170. It's the time to beat for the first time. I think we might be having a couple of people who will be trying to beat that here tonight.
Yeah, very solid lap from a very solid driver. I'm going to check who we can next across the line.
It's Shorts. Shorts, I believe, is the next driver to come round. He's not gone purple anyway. He hasn't gone purple, by the way. So he's not massively quick. He's actually slower. He does a 22.430. So he's almost 0.3 off. He's over 0.2 away. It's a bit far off.
JDB starts his lap. And I think there's an Aston Martin about to cross the line. That's to start his lap.
We're trying to find somebody who's actually doing a lap so far. I think it's the Soy at the moment, who's usually the first driver to cross the line. Darth Mask, by the way, just crossed the line. He did a 22.6. And Soy does even faster than the 1 minute 21. 1 minute 21.742 is set by AMS Soy. Very strong there from himself. I think we just saw Martin go up into 5th. He's only in a 23, so he's quite far off the pace. Kakpa, also slightly faster than Daniel, but still in a 22. 22.1 specifically. Gatcha, by the way, just going into 5th. Slotting into that 5th place. Yanni slotting into 7th. 15 thousandths, by the way, behind 6th place. Michael goes 8th. I think we've got a Williams coming to the line. Another VEL driver. Let's see how he can do.
Cross the line. Oh, it's not going to be good.
It's not too great. It's actually slowest of all. So it's a struggle of a lap from himself. Still a couple of drivers yet to cross the line, which I've just noticed. They're actually just starting some of their runs. JD Bergsma invalidates his runs. So AB's hopes really reducing, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let me just check. Oh, yeah, they have. Yeah, he's now in the pit after. I think I was trying to get his lap. I think he invalidated
massive lap from Philip Fraczak, by the way. He just went P2. TTRE. They're on a. We said about this, I think, in Silverstone, didn't we? Was it
yes.
Too little, too late? In my opinion, it's very much has been. It's like a sort of. You know, Aston Martin in 2022, you know, they had a good sort of end to their campaign, but they weren't good for sort of the first half of the season. Then they were all right for a little bit, and then they were actually decent. And I think that's what we're seeing from TTRE here. They've had a sort of rough first 6 races of the season. So first 5-6 races has kind of gone a bit slowly for them. And you know, that hasn't worked their way very much, has it? It's hurt them a lot. Tibble, by the way, coming up to the line. What can he do? Cross the line. He goes to P2. AMS 1-2 again. Holy.
Yeah, I mean, as you said before, I think TTRE has left it a little too late. Because, like, I'm pretty sure if they had a reasonably strong first 6 rounds, then they would definitely be fighting AMS for that championship. But I don't think it's really gone their way but I think their luck just ran out for the first 6 rounds. But they've got it back for the remainder of the season. They had a very, very strong rest of the season after round 6, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, very much. After round 6, that's where TTRE started to pick up pace. And it's an odd one, in my opinion. It's one of those areas where you look at it and you go, hold up. You know, so wait a second. Why have they picked up pace all of a sudden from this? You know, why have they started to get quicker again? Daniel, by the way, about to start another lap, about to start his second run. But But yeah, it's one of those strange moments that you get sometimes when racing, because it's like sort of TTRE last season. You know, they achieved a win. They achieved, I think 5, 6 podiums last season. They haven't achieved a podium all season long. I don't. No, they haven't. They haven't achieved a podium this season. They achieved a win as well back in Hungary. They had the most dominant win, by the way, in any round of FRLT in season 2. They had the biggest winning margin, which was I think the biggest thing was that they had the biggest winning margin, which I believe was 18 seconds. But this season, they've really struggled, and it was the fact that their first 2 races were actually pretty decent. I think they scored 20 points in their first 2 races, something like that, 18, 20 points. So they scored most of their points in the opening 2 races, and then for 3 races, I think they got together 4 points next few races. So they really struggled to get anything together. And then round 6 seemed to be a bit of a turning point. They scored some points again. Round 7 and 8, though, again, it sort of fell apart slightly that's when they really got together. But that's too late. That's the problem. It was too late for TTRE to gain anything from it. And you're seeing that in their battle with HRT, as Daniel just goes into P4, by the way, ahead of Kakpa. But you're sort of seeing it a bit, aren't you, from sort of HRT, you know, TTRE caught up to the back of them. I mean, HRT were the team that had a better start, but had a bad end to their season. They had a bit of a reverse of what we saw from TTRE. They had a poor middle of the season. But again, it's too late. Too little, too late. They've sat in there sort of towards the rear of the pack position for too long. And even if they get a good result over HRT tonight, they could potentially get, of course, would it be P5 in the standings? They could get 5th in the standings tonight, but it's not going to be enough. By the way, F1 Shorts has just improved his time, but not his position, as JD Bergsma now goes P6. So not all hope is lost for ABE. Very much not all hope is lost. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, his teammate, Martin, I just got 1.3 second in Sector 2. He's definitely on a flyer. And I don't know what's happening the first one, but something's definitely gone wrong. But I think he's got impeded slightly. Oh, no!
Massive impeding there. He's
yeah,
improved by 7
was
tenths,
by...
up to P11, but...
It was that by...
I think that was...
Gacha, I think.
Gacha, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a problem there between the 3 of them. He's on... You know, I think it's a bit of a problem. Kakpa, by the way, improves quite a bit. He goes P2, by the way. So he's really pushed himself up into this. XR8 as well. Didn't have a great race the last time round. 2 points scored. But they're, you know, hoping for more. I think we saw that from both LR and XR8. When they most needed to score points, they struggled. The pressure getting to them a bit. Hopefully it won't this time. Hamza up to the line. He invalidated, I believe. So, a bit more disappointment for themselves. Osmingo into the pits. He's still last place on track. Darwin, he's invalidated as well. So, more disappointment. That lap would have only sent him up 2 places to P10. So, it wasn't like it was going to be a massive lap in the end. Philip Fraxak, by the way, now goes P2 and only 600ths behind the pole position taker of Sasoi, who's in the pits currently. So maybe everything's not too happy at AMS. Maybe this race isn't going to be as good. Maybe, you know, maybe it's a bit more of a struggle. As you can see, Tibble's struggling, by the way, and I think he's done with his lap. Yeah, he's done. Yeah, so AMS having a poor middle run here. 1st and 4th now. Not looking as good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, but you have to bear in mind that they have basically wrapped up the title now. In Kota, like they brought in the best drivers. They absolutely dominated, had the race all under control, from start to end, 1-2 in qualifying and the race, I believe.
Yeah, I do agree.
I think what they're trying to do is just like bring it home, don't bin it, don't do anything stupid.
I do get that. To be honest, I do think you're right. It's just one of those things, isn't it? It's, sometimes you think maybe, maybe not, who's doing what. Overall, this grid is quite spaced out to some degree, about 2 seconds from 1st to 15th. But we have got to take into account a couple of drivers have also invalidated their second runs where they've improved by sort of 6/10. I mean, we saw Osmingo, he was improving by about 8/10 on his lap. So that would have brought it down to about a 1.3 second gap, by the way. But that was off of his middle sector, so he could have been about a second quicker. So we're sort of talking about the grid being about a second apart, I'd say. If they were to get in their sort of their best runs, they would be a bit closer. The only driver out of track at the moment is Michael for Nero. Nero's having a decent race. Darth Mask, by the way, up in P8. I think this could be their best qualifying of the season so far. In your opinion, would you say Nero are the team that's sort of almost the opposite of AMS? Not to be. No, slipstreaming is not allowed. I don't know why people ask me this every single round. Every single round.
Yeah, I don't think that's not a very common thing you see. Maybe ghost the cars. But anyway, back to your question. I mean, Nero. I think they have a good qualifying, but at the race, you just see them near the back. And
they're quite far
I know
off as
in
well.
Kyoto, they had a bit of a stinker.
Yeah, they really struggled. They were the two drivers at the back, and they weren't even close. I think one of their drivers was over a minute behind the next. He got lapped, I believe, by the race leader.
Yeah, he did.
Or twice. I can't remember whether. I think it was once.
I remember that.
It's the first time, by the way, a driver has been lapped.
Oh my god.
In the league, it's the first time when it's been lapped in the dry. Just to make it clear, when it's been dry.
He must be flattered. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure if they could convert a good qualifying into a good race, then I'm pretty sure you'd assume P10 or P9, definitely.
One thing I'm noticed by, what I'm noticing from, I think Nero, is that I think they are trying, but I think Nero's have been slightly unlucky as well. They've gotten in a few moments, like in Silverstone, they got in an incident or two, and it did drop them back. And I think sometimes it has hurt them more than it's helped them. Which of course is unlucky, that's just unlucky as a whole. But I think overall, I think Nero are the team at the back of the pack. I think in qualifying, they're probably, out of the 10 teams, they're probably 7th quickest in qualifying. 7th or 8th quickest. But, they're they're a bit more closer to the pack. They're still at the rear, but they're a bit closer to the top 10. But like you said, in the races, they just seem to really struggle. They have scored some points. They have scored 4 points, if I'm correct.
Michael just retired.
Yeah, I think he's used all of his tyres. I think he's gone out 3 times. So he doesn't want to use any more. And he doesn't have time anyway to go out again. So,
yeah.
Not much point on more tyres. But Philip Fraczak, the man who is sitting second, is out first. The man on pole is following behind him, by the way. So we're going to be seeing the top 2 be the first 2 to end off qualifying. We don't usually see that. Usually they're sitting somewhere mid-pack to the sort of rear. This time they're the front 2. We know Sasoi likes to get out early in qualifying usually. He hasn't this time. Usually he's one of the first to get out in qualifying. Left it a bit longer. Sasoi did invalidate his last lap, by the way, so it is going to come down to this. But we're going to ride on board with Philip Fraczak, who is the man who is really challenging for pole. TTRE really want a pole position in round 9, I should say. And going down towards turn 1, Philip Fraczak turning the car in very strong through there. A little bit of understeer from the Aston Martin up over the curb. Again through turn 3, down the hill now, heading towards the end of the first sector. He's down by 41,000, so maybe lost a little bit of time in turn 1. He's not far off, he can gain it. Oh, he's had a bit of a slide though off of the exit using overtake now. Down the first of the 2 back straights. Flying down here at almost 320 kilometers an hour into the braking zone. No brake markers, by the way, because somebody's destroyed them. No clue why somebody would destroy them. It's looking strong from Philip Fraczak. I don't think he's made he made that turn 1 mistake, a bit of understeer, but I don't think it's been anything bad. Sector 2 though, he's still half a tenth down. Can he find it in the final sector? He needs to find at least about 700ths in his lap. Qualifying is now over. Everybody has crossed the line on time, so nobody has hit the cutoff. But now, Philip Fraczak coming round with speed. Can he set a faster time? He hasn't so far. He's had 2 sort of alright sectors, nothing too quick. And across the line, Philip Fraczak improves, but it's not by enough. It's 1,000th off of Sasoi. Sasoi goes even faster. Kapka now goes into P2, just slotting ahead. We saw F1 Shorts go P6. There's Hamza in 11th. Daniel
goes 4th.
Holy, what a lap. I think we got...
Tibor, oh my god. Tibor's 2/10. He's absolutely flying right now. Garza goes 5th. Yanni goes 8th. Who's next across the line? I think...
That was also Mingo. He goes into his position. Then we got Solar Ball across the line. He now goes 12th. He just jumps in front.
Oh no! Death Mash. I spins round into the wall.
By the way, we got Tibor next.
Short.
Let's see. Tibor does go 5th. He does go into the top 5. I think there's just JD Bergsman there.
Yeah, he's done.
He's invalidated. That is qualifying over. It is Sasoi on pole. It's another AMS pole position. By a decent chunk as well. 2/10 in the lead. So I think we might be seeing another AMS victory. But it's not AMS domination, is it? You know, in 1 lap pace, Tibor, almost 4/10 off of his teammate. You know, about 3.5 off of his teammate at least. That's not where you want to be, is it? You know, you don't want to be that far off of your teammates, or Sergio Perez or Alexander Albon levels. But pretty decent all round. Not bad from the drivers, I will say. It's quite close at the end, wasn't it? You know, we've got quite a lot of drivers who actually did hit that 1 minute 21. Only 6 drivers did it. So 10 drivers didn't, but this is the order. Sasoi is on pole, followed by Kakpa, Philip Fraczak, Daniel, and Tibor. Gatcher is in 6th, followed by Shorts, Yanni, JD Bergsma, and Darth Mausk in 10th. Darwood is 11th, Martin in 12th, Solarball in 13th, Hamza 14th, Osamingo in 15th, and Michael in 16th and last for tonight. Would you say that was a bad... personally, and this might be bold to say, but that was a bad qualifying from ABE. It's very much summing up Kota. Not great on pace. Not great on really anything, to be honest. Pretty poor in sort of... not everything, but just a pretty poor round for them. I'm just going to quickly say when to go, or the drivers will try and go early. But that is... qualifying sort of summed up, isn't it? That's I don't want to be mean. That's sort of almost the last sort of 4 or 5 races summed up in a qualifying, isn't it? XR8 and sort of, you know, sort of VEL who have good pace. You know, you got sort of XR8, LR chasing the sort of leaders. You got ABE who are off for the pace. You know, quite a mixed grid though. I did not expect Daniel to go P4 at all. That's a surprise from VEL. I know they went pole in Silverstone, don't get me wrong, but I thought Simba's been the one with the pace at VEL. He scored pretty much most of their points this season. Didn't think Daniel would come out with it, but it would be interesting to see whether VEL get their podium tonight. TTRE as well, Philip Fraczak, you've got to give it to him. P3 in the end. TTRE on the comeback. They're pushing for that. They are pushing for that 5th in the constructors, that has been held by HRT for most of the season. But the thing is, HRT had a decent qualifying, so it's on the ropes a bit, isn't it? It's on the sort of, it's a big talking point, but I guess we'll be seeing by the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I don't think I can imagine ABE ending the season in a sort of third place. Of course, in the little title battle with XRA at one point in between them, with Kakpa qualifying P3, obviously, I think he's going to have a very strong
P2, sorry.
race, maybe
P2.
even win the race
Front row.
if AMS proceeds to have a bit of an issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, Dalok, as I said before, Simba has been a very strong driver. It's like Simba and Daniel, they have been delivering all season long where they can possibly race. With Simba's pole, and Daniel qualifying fourth as well. So they're obviously very good on qualifying pace.
I think
And I
what's
remember
strange to
Simba
see is
making a
still...
comeback.
What's strange to see is still only 3 teams have won this season, by the way. That was XR8 once, AB twice, AMS 5 times. So it's been an interesting
One-handed.
one. Yeah, it's definitely been one-sided. Last season, I think we had 4 or 5 winners at this point. But when you look at qualifying, you actually notice there's been a lot of teams getting pole. A lot more teams have actually achieved pole. By this point last season, by the way, only CRE and AMS had achieved, and I believe ABE had achieved poles. Only 3 teams. This season, I think we've had 5 teams achieve poles, or 6. I'm seeing 5. That's in my notes, so I might be wrong. But, 5, 6 teams, that's quite a lot for 8 races to achieve poles. But we're getting into it now. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go here in Abu Dhabi for FRLT Season 3, round number 9 in Tier 1. And it is a good getaway from Sasoi. He gets away incredibly well, but Kapka all over the back of him still. Yanni battling up the order, trying to get past his teammate as well. Heading down into the hairpin. Philip Fraxak has had a poor start. He's already down to 4th. Going through the hairpin. We got some moves further back. Short, trying to hold on to that position. Whoa, we got a bit of a spinner. Solar ball round. I think that's JD Bergsma, also down to 10th. So the start has not been perfect for AB. He's now down to 11th. Not helping himself at all. Into the chicane they go. It is still Sasoi who leads.
Yeah, but I don't know what to say. I think AB had an instant. That was JDB and Ella and Martin. They continued their poor form, 10th and 13th, just about scraping a point. But yeah, Daniel's moved up into 3rd, so maybe they could get the golden podium. But it's gonna try to go down the inside. No, he can't. He'll wait it out. But Kakba keeping the pressure on Sasoi.
You got to say though, Sasoi, by the way, is on the hard tyres. These two are on mediums, by the way. So only Sasoi and Philip Fraxak are the 2 on hards in the top 5. It's quite mixed. I think it's mostly medium tyre runners, but it's quite mixed at the moment between the 2 tyres. Somebody's round
Yellow
already.
flag.
I think that's
Michael.
Yeah, I thought so. Disappointing one for Michael.
Another round.
Gatcha's round. And he's in the wall, and it's wing damage. HRT's day might not be as good as they thought. At least still one of their cars is inside of the top 6 now. And he's on hard tyres as well, so he's had a good start for the hard tyre runners because a lot of them haven't had a good start. But Sasoi's going to lose the lead because Kakpa is going to go into the lead, and Daniel is also going to overtake him at the same time. So Sasoi down to 3rd already. We've got some battling over 4th. That's between Philip Fraxak and Tibor. Some ghosting from Philip Fraxak. He's pulling up closer and closer to Sasoi. We know this battle is going to be fierce, but as you can see, Tibor's gotten the best of him. And somebody's had a yellow flag.
Another yellow flag.
That's Hamza. Hamza slowed down. Has he had a bit of a moment? Does he have damage? I'm not sure what's happened there because a few drivers slowed down. Ostamingo also retires, which is completely odd and strange because you're not allowed to retire on track. So that might be a penalty. But by the way, Daniel has taken the lead of the race away from Kakpa. And this is perfect. VEL, they got sort of beaten up a bit in Silverstone by getting pole but not winning. But now they're here in the lead and they want the win before the end of the season.
Yeah, as you said before, they're going to aim for a golden podium, but they might go above and beyond. And he goes down the inside. He's going to try and make it stick. He's going to have a massive dive bomb down the inside, moves up at the second, but gets stuck on the curb. And his Kakba gets the switch back. A very lovely move by the X8 driver.
Yeah, incredible defense.
Yeah, Daniel goes to the inside. He switches back to the outside. Is Kakba going to go for it? No, he doesn't. It's going to be any battling. Philip, making moves, I think. He just pulled
Philip
out, though.
Battling with Tibble there a bit of battling. I think Philip's a bit angry with Tibble because Tibble took advantage of Philip, I think, ghosting. And so I think maybe Philip's a little bit angry with the ghosting that happened. But we got Sasoi all over the back of Kakpa. Are the mediums already used up, or are they just saving their tyres and saving their ERS a bit? I'm not sure, because at the moment, I think the mediums might already be starting to wear off.
I think they got to be conservative, because there's no way after, 3 laps, now heading on to lap 4, I can see Kakpa is currently recharging his battery, I think. Yeah, he is. They got to be conserving, because, I think their whole game plan is to conserve the mediums to make sure they don't wear them out too quickly and let AMS
JD Bergsma, by the way, having a battle with Darth Mask over P8. A little bit of contact through turn 3. And that is JD Bergsma up into 8th. So pushing through for ABE in the time of need. But, well, Martin sits in 12th, far, far away from the top 10, or even the top 9, top 9, still within DRS of each other. But you can see down into the chicane again, Tibor under attack from Philip Fraczak. But no moves happening for the moment, but I think we're going to get a move now for the lead, because Kakpa's going to take the lead of the race away from Daniel. And we're going to see Sasoi, he's going to try and do it as well, but those hards just don't have the grip yet to be able to beat the mediums.
Yeah, it's just going to go for it again. He sees a gap, no, lift off the throttle, and they had to stay back. His teammate Tibor, though, he's gained 1 position off of Philip, I think. Yeah, Philip has lost 2 places, and Tibor has gained 1. Sasoi has lost 2 positions. I'm pretty sure that is just purely because of the hard tyres just not gripping enough. But yeah, looking at the midfield, all very spaced out from I think it was 7th to 8th, 9th to 10th. Yeah, 6-second gap.
Yeah, it's looking about 4 seconds at the moment between 9th and 10th. That's Darwin, who's currently fighting over 10th with Solarball and Martin. Although, to be fair, we usually see this, don't we, around Abu Dhabi. Usually a bit of contact, bit of racing causes some drivers or teams to drop off, but it's quite heavy here. And Tibble's dropping down the order. 3 wide into the chicane. Who's going to come out on top? Sasoi's trying to go round the outside of Kakpa. Daniel still leads away. Sasoi and Kakpa's still going to be back. Look at this.
3 wide again.
And 3 wide, but it is who's going to take the lead into the left-hander? It's going to be Sasoi. And Philip Fraczak, he's also there. He's in the battle. Yanni battling over 5th. He's going to get ahead of Tibble. Philip Fraczak up 2 places. I can see Yanni up 1 as well. So, in this case, Tibble's been the biggest loser. He's now dropped 1 place since the race start. But his mediums, he's not working them well. He's actually struggling a bit, because even F1 Shorts is starting to catch up to him in this final sector. But for one side of AMS, it's the race lead, and for the other, he's still in the battle. But one thing I want to just mention about, just quickly, is actually the man of Darth. Because Darth Mask is doing something else, isn't he, for Nero at the moment? He's keeping up.
Yeah.
We haven't seen this from Nero, keeping up with the leaders. Usually, they drop off by about lap 4, 5. They drop off from sort of the pack. But here, Darth Mask might be the exception. And remember, he could realistically still be in the fight for the win. Realistically, he's still within sort of the timing for it. Down into the chicane again. We see JD Bergsma, by the way, getting ahead of F1 Shorts for 7th. Darwin having a bit of a battle over 10th place. The 1 single point position. Martin, by the way, is on medium tyres as well, so I find it quite strange he isn't beating these two for the moment. But Sasoi continues to lead. But this is an interesting battle, isn't it? Because Solar Ball, again, now taking P10. But it's interesting to see that you've kind of got a sort of three groups, haven't you? When you look at the standings, you've got the sort of leaders. You've got sort of the top three, you've got sort of AMS and LR and XO8 and ABE, the sort of leaders throughout the season. Then you've got like the mid pack, which is HRT, TTRE, and VEL, and then you got the sort of teams further back, TIE, sort of also like Nero, EVR, teams like that, who are further back. And I think you sort of see the grid split in three pieces, really, aren't they? They're sort of split apart by that. One driver who's having a bit of a struggle, by the way, I've just noticed this, is JD Bergsby. He's struggling a bit to keep up with the top six.
Yeah, I mean, here comes Darthmask down the inside of F1 short. He's going to make a stick. Yes, he does. Darthmask making a name for himself right now. Gets moved on F1 shorts. He's going to be trying to fight it back, though.
And he's over a second behind, by the way. That's cost him about a second. And it's cost him DRS.
Every point. Yeah, I think that'll still be massive to him because every point counts for, especially for such like a backmarker team like Neva. You don't really see them in the points, as you said before. These like drop off at lap 4, lap 5. So very impressed by Darthmask. Yeah,
I think the most impressive thing is that it is currently, they're going to double their points if he finishes P8. They'll double their championship points, and yes, you can see tyres. Just there they are. I'll let you see the tyres quickly for the moment. Quite mixed. Only 3 drivers inside of the top 5 on hard tyres now. Then you've got sort of 4 medium runners, then 2 hards, then a medium, and then 2 hards, and then a medium. So it's quite similar in numbers between hards and medium runners. I think we have 7 medium runners out of 15. So 8 are running the mediums. Heading down this back straight now. Daniel, by the way, has just dropped out of the second as well. It's Philip Fraczak trying to make his move for P2, and I think Kakpa's just going to let it happen because I don't think he particularly wants to have a battle with him right now. But this is an interesting moment, isn't it? AMS taking the lead again, but they're not. It's not like Kota, is it? They're not far ahead. They're not doing as well as they were. We know, what was it, last race? They already had about 5 or 6 second gap by this point. They had quite a big gap in the lead. But this time round, they're struggling a little bit more. They're struggling to sort of get the pace and get in front. But Sasoi is slowly pulling a small gap. But the minute DRS is opened, that's all gone.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I like to see, Daniel, 1st to 5th. I think now the hardest are now warming up as Philip and Sasoi are both on hard tyres, and they are currently leading 1-2. And then Yanni, he had a very strong season, like back in Silverstone, I think, like last time he raced. No, it wasn't. It was Kota last week. He had a bit of an incident. I remember that. But yeah, on a bit of a redemption right now. But yeah, Kakpa doing very well, still managing the mediums very well. As you can see, he's still keeping up. I can see a bit of recharging from Yanni's point of view, and Augusto's left the session.
Yeah, he's
retired, he left.
So I could see why. But now Philip Fraczak retakes the lead of the race away from Sasoi for the first time in about 4 or 5 laps now. Because I think it's either 3 or 4 laps he's retaken the lead. But what's interesting to see is when you actually... the mediums, I do think, are dropping off because Solar Ball, by the way, and Dylan in the YouTube chat has just pointed this out to me, is catching 9th, by the way. He's within 2 seconds now. So he's about half the time in about 5 laps. So I think the mediums are sort of going off. JD Bergsma, though, has found himself in a bit of a tough spot, hasn't he? He's dropped over a second behind Tibor, and Daniel's over a second and a half behind Yanni. But the driver who's interesting me is actually Yanni in all of this. He's on the hard tyres. He's gone for that different strategy along with Sasoi. And HRT, they're looking racy, He's been quiet. That's the thing, they're not looking racy. They're looking quick, but not very racy, are they? They've been rather quiet this race, other than the race start as Sasoi retakes the lead. But here comes Yanni. As soon as I say racy, he's going to get going, and up into P3 he goes. Top 3, all on hard tyres now, by the way. Only Kakpa without them, so I think the mediums have now dropped off. And I think Kakpa is struggling, but this is now allowed. HRT back on the podium. Are they going to get back-to-back podiums? We hope so. Are they going to push for the win? Would be interesting to see.
Yeah, I definitely hope to see HRT on top. But yeah, definitely clear sign now that I know the superior tyres, just seen F1 shorts came to the pits one lap ago. But yeah, a bit of a gap now formed between Kakpa and Daniel, 2.7 seconds with Tibor. I don't know what's happened to him. I think he's lost I
think it's DRS.
If I can check.
I think it's tyre wear and it's DRS. I think DRS, he's losing about half a second. By my count, he's losing about half a second a lap to about 6/10. From half a second to 7/10, just purely from DRS a lap. But I think the medium tyres as well aren't helping his case, and that's why he's struggling to keep up, and that's why he's losing time to 4th. What would you say about sort of AMS's race so far? Because it's nowhere close to their Kota race of pure dominance, but it's reverting back to how they've been at other points during this season, shall we say, where sort of at least, sort of 2 teams have been able to keep up with them, and here they've got 3 teams keeping up with them, and specifically 3 drivers from 3 different teams. It's not the same, is it? AMS aren't having the same sort of luck as they did last time round, but they are still pushing, and there are still chances. Darth Mask, by the way, I think he just went up to 7th ahead of JD Bergsma.
Yeah, he did indeed. Yeah, what a very huge happening right now. We don't really see this off of Nero. I haven't really seen Darth Mask race, I don't think. He's a new name to me, at least.
Me too.
But yeah, I think he's catching Tibor as well. Well, only 1.5, now 1.3. Wow. Yeah, getting 2/10, and Tibor getting very, very close to Daniel. I think he's gonna get him by, and as JDB heads into the pit, what's it gonna be though? I think it's gonna be for the new superior hard compound tires, unless his teammate Martin goes by him. Yes, it is.
I think.
But yeah,
I think we knew that.
Having really bad.
Yeah, they're having a bit of a rough race. Darth Mask, though, almost within a second, he's just missed out on that. If he was a little bit quicker in the first sector. In your opinion, would you say this has been a good or bad race for Daniel? Because to some degree, we know VEL seem to like the position of 5th. We know they seem to like the position of 5th very often. Oh, and he's gone a bit wide there. By the way, he's gone quite wide. Bit late on the brakes. But he's lost about 5 seconds now to P4 in, what was it, 3-4 laps? He's really struggling to keep up now. But I would say the one good thing he's doing is he's actually holding up Tibor. I would say that's the only good thing he's doing, is he's making sure that at least we're not seeing sort of an AMS double podium again, are we? And this is the worst thing for AMS. Yes, they're going to take the championship tonight. I think we know that. They've pretty much sealed the deal because they're going to score more than LR. Very clearly they're going to score more than LR. LR's not scoring anything. But then we do have a battle over second, by the way. If XR8, if Kakpa and Solar are able to score some decent points, LR might be under attack again. They might be, this time they're not attacking a team, they're under attack, specifically from XR8, because at the moment, if they finish where they currently are, they'll go up to 126 points and just 8 points behind LR. So who knows? Where has JD Bergsma come out in all of this? Because I'm really wondering. Look at this! He's racing Tibor off for the exit. He's gained about almost 2 seconds on this lot. This is amazing timing for him, but he is down to 11th, though. He is down to 11th, but he is right on the back of this, and this would be eventually P7, I think?
Yeah, P7.
So he is, P6. P6, sorry, at the moment. This would be P6 as it stands. So JD Bergsman has really worked his way closer to the grid, but remember, he's on the hard tyres now till the end of the race, while some drivers like Sassoy, Philip, Yanni will all be going to the medium. So there's going to be a mix, isn't there? We're going to see a bit of a mix, I think, mostly hard tyres. But JD Bergsman's in the race now for at least about, I think, P6 at the moment, P5 or P6, because Daniel was P5. So I think he's in the battle for P5 here. So maybe AB hopes of pushing, still going for sort of third in the championship, maybe returning to them. But I think the only time it would return to them is if Kappa would have a moment. Tibor, penalty.
Hamza goes off.
Hamza has gone off. Is he going to let Daniel through? No, he isn't. He's very reluctant to let the Williams through. The Williams pushing him through turn 1. Interesting tactics from TIE again here tonight. They're not performing greatly. They're in the battle for 1 point, but not performing amazingly. But look at this. Tibor down the inside of Daniel. We're going to get a lot of battling going on here. They're all stuck behind Hamza.
Yeah, yeah.
No clue how they're stuck behind Hamza on such faster tyres. And heading down 3 wide.
Here we go.
Oh, but look at this. Tibor's gotten squeezed in. Oh, no. Has Tibor gotten a bit squeezed in? Oh, my God. Tibor's pushed off the track a bit.
What?
But
Hamza...
Tibor's just lost out there, hasn't he?
It.
He's lost the place, hasn't he? He's now lost the place. Plus, with the penalty, as it stands, he'll finish behind Darth Mask. So it's even worse luck for AMS here tonight. Kappa's in the pits, by the way.
Yeah, he is. I think Kappa's done a brilliant job on handling those mediums. He's done it so good, and he's kept it in the top 4 as well. And he's just been consistent. Hasn't done anything silly, and I think he might
is he
pull
come
out
in front?
Behind.
Yeah, he is. No, he's going to come out in front. So it's
Willie,
really
F1 Shorts.
It's actually
F1 Shorts is
going to be in front of Shorts, I think, just about.
Just about.
He's in front, but he's miles ahead of Daniel. To add on to that, he's decently far ahead of Daniel and on fresher tyres. So at the moment, the strategy's kind of worked for him, hasn't it? Because the main thing was to come out in front of this lot behind him, and the undercut has worked for JD Bergsman, but it hasn't worked enough. And I think getting held behind Hamza has been the entire reason why we've seen Capco in front. Because I'm just getting some data here, they lost about 2.9 seconds, so they would have actually come out in front of Kappa in all of this.
They were. I'm just going to point something out, go a bit off topic. The top 5 have not boxed yet. I don't know when they're going to box. Yeah. So
I think they'll probably box around lap 18.
They're working together.
I think because the mediums are lasting about, we saw about, 11 to 15 laps. So I think we're going to see them probably box in the next lap or two. But these top 3, on their own in skill, haven't they? They've, except, excluding Kakpa, they've very much been, Oh, Sassoy! 3-second time penalty! AMS's luck is maybe turning around on them. They might have gotten a 1-2 and dominance in Kota, but maybe that luck has run out. I know that they are still probably going to win the championship this race. I think we all know that. But the 3-second time penalty is just going to hurt Sassoy so much now, because he's at least going to drop down to 3rd as it stands with these 2 behind him. So it's quite odd, isn't it? It was an odd place to get a penalty. Not sure how he did. They might appeal it, so who knows. But Sassoy has now put himself out of contention for the win, and he's now going to be sitting down into 3rd at the moment. Less points for AMS, and as it would stand, TTRE's first win of the season and their first podium of the season.
Yeah, I think AMS has definitely thrown it away.
Oh, and Philip Fraczak's coming in. He wants the undercut. You see, that's the nice thing about not leading, isn't it? You will base yourself off of the leader, and if he doesn't do something and you want to get the undercut, you can do it. Will the undercut work here? I think we'll have to see. But it depends where he comes out. Will he come out in front or behind Kakpa? I don't know. Shall we see where Kakpa is? Where is he? He's coming down the straight now. He might just get out. I think he's going to come out in front of Philip Fraczak. Yeah, he's clearly in front of Philip Fraczak. Not by a lot. Not by a huge amount, to be fair. He's still within a second. Philip, of course, on the mediums as well, with now DRS. But still, the great thing here... Whoa! Daniel doing some odd ghosting through a driver. I'm not sure how that's worked. But these lot have struggled to get past F1 shorts, haven't they? They've really struggled to get past this man.
Yeah, here comes JD. Here comes JDB. Goes by the both of them, I think. If he can pull this off, he squeezes Daniel off. He's going to hang on the outside. He's going to go for a switchback. No, it doesn't work out. He doesn't have the grip. But he just had so much power down the straight. Actually, he's going to have a go again. Around the outside, coming now into a long left-hander.
Whoa! Tibble! Up the inside. He's trying to make the move on... Daniel's had a really rough stint, didn't he, towards the end of his first stint. He really struggled. And it's showing here because he's fighting for 7th right now. That's what he's fighting for. And eventually, he'll be fighting for 6th. JD Bergsman with a 3-second time penalty. And at the moment, I think it's really going to hurt him. Solerball and Darwood both in the pits. I think we know where they're going to come out by the sort of end of the points. Nothing special, I think, for them. But I think they knew that from the start, that they weren't going to be fighting for anything big. But Daniel, now fighting for 5th in this race. He's going to finish 5th. VL seems to like 5th place a lot. I think they've gotten it 3 times now this season. They're liking it a little bit too much. I mean, it's still 10 points, to be fair. I will give it to VL. It is still 10 more points on the table, and it's a pretty decent place to finish. Philip Fraczak, by the way, cleared Kakpa with a bit of ease the first time round, but I think they're just DRS. I think they're working together very much right now. I think they're working together to catch up to the front two, who haven't stopped yet. JD Bergsman still battling. F1 shorts, by the way. This man has pulled off the master strategy, hasn't he? Because he's P8. He's fighting over... He'll finish P7 at the moment. LR, only one driver turned up tonight. They've only got... they haven't had the strategy. They haven't had the pace. But all of a sudden they do. Yanni and Sasoi both in the pits right now, by the way. So it's the battle... Oh! And a big amount of contact between JD Bergsman and Daniel. Still battling over it. Daniel's still ghosted. Not anymore. But that was a little bit close for, I think, for their likes. I don't think they like to particularly be that close. Who's going to come out in the lead, though? It is Philip Fraczak. He's in the lead on the medium tyres. That undercut has worked beautifully for him, and he's quite far off in the lead as well. So I think AMS are ruled out of a victory here.
He just came out? I think he has, yeah. Sorry, he came out in 3rd, and Yanni came out in 4th. But Sasori has a penalty, so HRT technically on the podium, and Daniel moves up into 5th. What a battle this has been. Look how tightly packed they are. As Hamza gets a 3-second time penalty for
Tibble, out of nowhere, is he going to go for the double overtake? Yes, he is. He's trying. He's not able to make the move. Hello, Max. Welcome to the stream. What did I just see? Holy. Fair enough. Absolute chaos. Tibble going for 5th, though. He has got a penalty, so he'll still drop down to come in 9th. Sorry, JD Bergsman will finish 9th. He'll finish 8th. Not AMS's day. It looked like their day, didn't it? Very much. But it's not now, because they're going to finish 4th and 8th as it stands. Kind of fallen away for them, hasn't it? This race. What they had hasn't gone well. But Sasoi is catching up to 2nd, by the way. He is catching up to Kakpa, which could possibly put him in a chance for the victory still. But of course, with the penalty, it won't help him. Solerball with the fast slap. And that's an extra point, by the way, for Solerball. Darwood has a few penalties, I believe. If we have a look at the penalties wise, only Hamza has 6 seconds, everybody else with 3 seconds. So a lot of drivers getting penalties tonight, which is quite strange for the track it is. I didn't think we'd have this many penalties. We didn't have this many in Kota, did we? It's quite odd. Sasoi, within DRS now, by the way. He's really fought hard to close back up, and he's done that, and he is in the fight for the win. Can Sasoi pull off an ultimate sort of comeback here? Could he take the lead and get in the lead by over 3 seconds? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all, in my opinion, because he's kind of stuck here, isn't he? He's going to get stuck in the DRS train again, and these two will not let him pull away at all.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, as far as he's now caught up to the back of Kakba, so maybe AMS. Oh no, I forgot about the penalty, my bad. But yeah, Daniel, we taken 5th. So saw it with the fastest lap. So at least that's one good thing about AMS's day. But yeah, Tibor, out of absolutely nowhere, had a very poor first stint, but on the mediums is making up for it. Darth Mask still the points.
He's going to finish
that
7th.
Is still...
He's going to finish 7th at the moment. So he's on a really good day at the moment. 6 points for Nero, which will pull them ahead of EVR, by the way, in the standings. And if I'm correct, he'll also pull them ahead of TIE.
Yeah, they will.
They'll go just 1 point ahead of TIE, pulling themselves off of the bottom from, I think, 12th, if it is. 12th or 11th. Up to 8th. Up to 10th, I believe it is in the standings. So, quite interesting to see. But yeah, Sasoi takes the lead of the race, by the way. He's done it, finally. He has taken the lead. But we know, after about 5-6 laps, the mediums do start to drop off. And I think we've seen that with Philip, who's, of course, hit his 5-lap marker. Sort of marking the race quite early, a bit earlier. Yanni, no. I don't think Yanni's going to close the gap. I don't think he's going to get within 3 seconds of the race leader. So I think Yanni is going to finish 4th. So HRT is still pulling in 12 points. Losing 3 points, of course, or soon to be 6 to TTRE. Do you think Sasoi has wrapped? Maybe could he win? Do you think he could win at the moment? Do you think there's a chance, or do you think the sort of DRS battle, because Kakpa for a second almost lost DRS there, but do you think that it's gonna maybe swap round a bit, where we're gonna see maybe sort of? I think the battle is now really very much between XR8 and TTRE over who wins. It'd be nice to see XR8 get their second win and challenge, LR for second in the constructors. But I do think, personally, if I was being honest, I'd probably say at the moment TTRE, Philip Fraczak might look a bit quicker towards the end and might just pull off the win. But I think it's very much between those two. And we just saw some action, by the way, further back. Look at this 3 wide into the left-hander. It's going a bit mental. They're going all over the place, battling like crazy. Oh! Into the wall.
That's JD. Oh, he's going so well for the... Oh, that's heartbreak for both the... Yeah, it's just gone. The shambles for ABE.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the coughing for a second there to all viewers. I'm dying slightly. JD Bergsman, I think, is going to come in and possibly retire from the race. At least Martin will score a point. I think that's a day done. Yeah. Disappointing to see. It was looking good, but of course with the penalty, still would have finished, I think, about 8th place. But this now frees up a few more, because Solar Ball, by the way, is caught up to this battle. But of course, it now frees Darth Mask to fight for 5th. This guy he's on a battle. He's on a battle right now, and there is a chance to really see a fight. It's going to be interesting to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely will. It's now Velox versus LR versus Nero, Darth Mask now in 7th, and Solar Ball and David keeping
With
behind
penalty.
the Nero driver. But yeah, it'll still be interesting to see though. And
Yeah, the battling. I
Darth
think
Mask
it's going to be
really
interesting to
up.
see who's going to do what. Has Darthmask just been sitting here going, I'm just going to wait until they're unaware that I'm here, and I'm just going to attack then? Because he
Yeah,
has been the quiet driver, hasn't he? He's made, I think we've seen 2 overtakes during this entire race.
yeah.
He's been one of the quietest drivers, but he's slowly gone up the order, hasn't he? He had a decent qualifying. I think he qualified P10, P9, I believe. So he had a decent qualifying, and he's been slowly making his way up the order. He's kept up with the pace. Another 2 drivers, by the way, who's keeping up with the pace is actually Kakpa and Philip, because Sasoi was pulling away quite a bit, but the DRS is now proving to be too powerful, and they're very much keeping up with him. But what's happening with the DRS is actually allowing Kakpa to stay in essentially race-winning position while Philip sits behind. No,
Oh
no.
my god.
Darth Mask, please.
Oh my god.
He's
Keep
lost
on
a piece of
thinking
his
it,
wing.
man. I don't keep pushing the front ring. I'm actually gonna crash out. Oh my god, I'm gonna crash out.
Let's see if he keeps going. It's still points. It's still points, to be fair.
You keep on thinking it, man.
I've done it once. This race. Leave me alone. I
Yeah,
said
so
AMS would
ball.
get pole. They did get pole. I was right. I haven't done this.
Oh no! F1 shorting to the wall.
Well, Darth Mask will be happy. So, I mean, that's a plus. What is the grip? What is happening to grip?
What
It
what's
can't just-
happened?
It can't just be me, can it? By the way, so F1 Shorts could pit and still come out in 10th ahead of Hamza.
No, he's staying out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But you know what I mean? What is happening to the grip? Because we've just seen 2 drivers from the same pack struggling on the hards. Is grip completely fading away? Do you think the track's become quite slippy? Because we saw at the start it was quite slippy, wasn't it? The track was very slippy at the start of the race. Since then, it's changed a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It got grippy, and now it's getting slippy again. Solar Ball, by the way, up to 5th. This man is on his way for 6th. Solar Ball, what a day he's having, isn't he? He's having an absolute massive day. How many positions has he gained? He's gained 8 places.
8.
The most out of anybody. He's on an absolute massive day. He's fighting over 6th place here tonight, and he's putting on a show for us, isn't he?
Yeah, he is definitely. But whoa, here comes Daniel. Is he gonna hang on the outside? Ooh, gets closed out.
I think Daniel saw what happened to Shorts, and he went, "No, I'm not attempting an off-roading experience."
Yeah, but yeah, back to what I was saying. XRA having a wonderful, consistent race. They will pull ahead of ABE by an absolute mile. ABE will only carry home 2 points. And if I do the math, let me just do it. XRA will pick up 26 points, leading them miles ahead
LR scoring 1 by
of
the way.
ABE.
LR scoring 1 point. Does this mean?
God, yeah.
So I just want to say, based off of that, let me think. Hang on, that means the championship battle at the moment is on for 2nd. It's a 6-point gap. 7-point gap as it would stand, I believe. 6 or 7-point gap. So this is going to be interesting into the final race next week, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's all going. Shorts is outside of the top 10 now.
Oh god, he stopped down to 12th.
So that means who has the fastest lap? I believe that's Gatcha who has the fastest lap at the minute. He is actually a minute off of fastest. Michael's not last. He's not last actually, which is, I didn't think I'd be saying that. Solar Ball inside of another car, and I really regret saying it like that. Tibble, by the way, up into P10 ahead of Hamza. He would have been, so AMS still getting the double point, still getting P10. He's pushing for fastest lap as well. So we'll see whether Tibble can get that fastest lap and gain AMS another point. But as it stands, AMS will be the Constructors champions, back-to-back seasons, first ever back-to-back champion, which is interesting to see. I can confirm as well they want to return for season 4. Of course, they've won this twice now in 3, which is nice. But just to put it in perspective, AMS has never. Gatcha with a 10-second time penalty, he's done as well. 3rd retirement tonight. AMS have never finished lower than 2nd in the championship. They finished 2nd in season 1, 1st and 1st. So at the moment, I think I don't think AMS is having too bad of a time, are they? Very much. They're having quite a nice time. Daniel and Darwin are fighting at the moment because Solar he's happy with this battling, isn't he? Because he just knows he's going to finish in 6th at least. And be happy with his day and go, look at me. But I have to give it to TIE as well. 6 more points in the bag. They're going to pull themselves further ahead of Nero. So Nero is only going to go up to 11th, I think, in the standings as EVR dropped to last. Solar round!
Oh my... Stop jinxing it!
I think it's grip. I think the drive... everybody seems to be struggling for grip. By the way, Philip Fraxak, he's had a really poor few laps because he's now almost 3 seconds behind Sasoi. This is coming down to the wire, isn't it? We're at least going to see, I think, XR8 win the race. I think that's something we can confirm. XR8 will most likely win tonight's race and take home their, their 2nd win of the season. Still, only 3 teams to have won in 9 races, which is quite strange. But XR8 will equal ABE on 2 wins this season. I do want to say, ABE, we talk about them being P9 and DNF for this race. Oh, stop it, Dylan. It's not my fault. Tell him to get better skills. It's not my fault.
Exactly, man. I agree with Dylan.
I don't know. By the way, I didn't say anything about Solar Ball, and he spun. No, a tyre on track is not allowed. I don't know why people seem to constantly ask this, but we are on to now the final lap of the race. Philip Fraxak now sits over 3 seconds behind. He's not going to win this race as it stands. Sorry, he's not going to finish 2nd in this race, but TTRE will still take their first podium of the season. Unless Sasoi gets another penalty. But final lap, battle for the lead. I think we know who's going to win. It's going to be Kakpa.
What if he gets a penalty?
Okay, why did you say it? Why did you say it? You're worse than me. Don't say it.
Wrong person.
And Kakpa down into the chicane. He's not going to... I don't think he's going to push for the lead, is he? I think he's just going to stay in 2nd because I don't think he sees any point in taking the lead. Because
maybe to show off.
And
he's going to show off. Yeah, here we go.
Into the lead goes Kakpa. Is it the first time? Or is it the 3rd or 4th time? I think he's led a few times, yeah. As Kakpa now leads the race, he's going to win. I think for the 2nd time this season, he's going to win. He's going to bring XR8's 2nd win of the season, equaling ABE's. But what a race it's been. He wasn't always in race-winning contention, but he's been there on pace. Started 2nd. He's going to come around the penultimate corner and now into the final corner. It is XR8 who win, and it's Kakpa who wins in Abu Dhabi for the 2nd time this season. That is a
roller coaster.
Yeah, it is a roller coaster of a race. Yanni finishes 4th. Philip Fraxak does finish on the podium, so it is still a podium there. Darwood, where is he going to finish? He's going to finish 6th. Daniel, 5th. Solar Ball will finish 7th, though. So I do give it to him. It's still 6 points in the bag for Solar Ball. Darth Mask finishes 8th. Martin, 9th, so points. And we are going to see F1 Shorts finish 10th. And I believe for the first time this season, at least one AMS driver will finish outside of the points. When it's not been a DNF, by the way. So for Tibor, bit of disappointment, isn't it? AMS not getting the best from the day. Only 18 points. Last race, they got 46. I believe. Sorry, 45 points from their last race. So it's been a bit of a frustrating race here. 2 drivers left across the line. That's Michael and Hamza, who are in the final sector. But what a race that was. LR, only 1 point scored. Back-to-back poor races, hasn't it? It's been a tough one. And no, reset to track is not allowed. No, it's not. Why is everybody asking me this? No, it's not. It's not allowed. Who knows? It's not allowed. No, I don't allow it. It's somewhere in the rules. I promise you. I'll find it and I will quote it. I will send it to whoever's asking. But that is the race over and done. Let's go through the grid order quickly. Kakpa on pole position. Sorry, I'm thinking of qualifying again. Holy. Kakpa wins from the front row of the grid. The pole. On the front row and winning. Keep on saying pole position. What is wrong with me here today? Kakpa wins, followed by Sasoi in second. Disappointment for AMS. TTRE achieved their first podium of the season. They've slowly crawled up the order to get it, but it is still a podium. HRT finished 4th. Still a great day from Yanni. Daniel finishes 5th. Don't know how many P5s VEL have gotten now, but it's another one. TIE, with their biggest point score, by the way, of the season, they've just doubled their points. 8 points they've scored this season, and 8 points they've scored tonight. That's up to 16 now for them. Solar Ball finished 7th, Darth Mask in 8th, Martin in 9th, F1 Shorts is in 10th, followed by Tibor 11th, Michael in 12th, Hamza 13th, and the retirements being Gatcha, JD Bergsma, and Osmingo. That is everybody. So, as a race, what do you think of it?
It was quite a good. It's quite a nice race, a lot of battling action, but it's quite peaceful at times. XR8 taking home the win after a longer wait. Velok also taking 5th place. AMS finishing 2nd. I think they won the championship. I don't know.
Yes. So I'm just quickly checking. Essentially, I'm double checking now. AMS are the Season 3 Tier 1 champions. They've done it. They've won the championship with 1 race to go. Quite close, quite up to the line. But they've done it with a podium, of course. LR not being able to do anything against it. But what a podium it was. And it was a podium and points that they needed. We should be getting an interview from Sasoi very shortly. If we can find the waiting for interview box. Where's my? I'm trying to find where my hashtag is. No, he's into the box. We'll talk to him in a second. We'll bring him in now and we'll ask him a few questions. And let's go.
All right.
Hello, Sasoi. Welcome to the comms box. It's been a long season for AMS, up and down. But how does it feel to clinch the title after quite a close season throughout?
I mean, if you told me that you were champion before, I would have prepared sort of a script. But oh well. Nah, I mean, it's like last season. I think, of course, we had competition this one as well. Less vote compared to last one because AB, I think, had Barb and Sneak more often, and it was a bit of a close fight. Even so, happy to always clinch the title, and yeah.
I think you guys were. I think your biggest part of the season. I think the first 5 races was quite close between I'd say top 3, sort of between you, ABE, XR8, and LR, who were I think split by about 12 points or 11 points in the first 5 races. So top 3 were quite close. But you guys getting a hat trick of victories, I think. Sort of how do you feel sort of getting that hat trick of victories and going, we sort of dominated when we needed to? How does it sort of feel to get that?
I want to be honest, we didn't really expect too much competition because we knew last season how it went. So we are expecting to have sort of similar thing, and it didn't happen. So after those 5 races, we sat down and said, let's then push a little bit more with lineups and try to be careful on driving yet faster. And yet we gained the points that we needed. And then last race in Kota, we decided, yeah, let's go full in and get it done next week in Abu Dhabi, which we succeeded in doing. So yeah, I think we did struggle a little bit over the expectations the first part, but then we went flawless in the second, which would have been the objective for the whole season. But yeah, racing is racing. Always, you can't always get the results you want.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, do you just basing off of that? Do you feel like maybe next season you'll maybe think about how much closer the teams are than you expected this season? Is that going to be something we're going to see into next season? Maybe a bit more of a careful strategy?
Probably, yeah. I mean, we will see how it goes with the teams that there are. And of course, if actually there are more high-level teams, we will, of course, increase our level of expectations. So we will be more... Yeah, we will think more about who we put in the lineups. So,
Fair
yeah.
enough. Will, do you have any questions for Sasori?
No, I don't. I think I actually gotta leave now. Sorry,
fair enough.
but yeah.
Ultimately, thank you, Sasori, for joining the interview. Well done on your second title. We'll be hoping for you'll be hoping for more, of course, next season. Yeah, good job. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you
to
for a
as
good
well.
season.
Yeah.
So,
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, I have to go.
Yeah, that's fine. So, an end to the championship fight. AMS crowned champions out of this race. Well done to them. Sadly, Will has had to leave us slightly early, which is a bit disappointing, but he's had to leave us slightly early. But ultimately, that is the championship wrapped up. If I am correct, it is AMS champions. Second place is LR for now on 135 points, I believe. XR8 have pulled themselves closer and in the battle for second. Also, AB struggles tonight. No points, I believe, for them. 1 point, sorry. I think it's 1 or 2 points scored for AB tonight. Ultimately, thank you guys so much for watching this season. It's been amazing. We've still got one more race. We've still got Belgium next week. In the calendar, I'll show you it now. We've completed all 9 races now from Australia, China, Singapore, Vegas. Then we had Christmas. Then we had Monza, Austria, Britain, Kota, and now today Abu Dhabi. Don't mind the dates; they're a bit wrong. We had to change the calendar. But ultimately, Belgium was also... we've got Belgium left. 1 race left. 90% of the season done. AMS has had, if I'm correct, 5 wins now this season out of 9. 3 teams have won. XR8 twice. ABE twice. But yeah, the season is coming to an end. Ultimately, which is a bit sad. We've got one more Tier 1 race next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Make sure to join us for that. Also, I've got to point this out to you guys just quickly. Very, very big pointing out here. We've got Fours, the finale of Fours coming up this weekend. It is still a championship fight, by the way, going into round 9 of Fours on Sunday at 8 p.m. Make sure to join us for that. There will be a stream for it, of course, hosted by myself. But we got the 9th race of the season, the finale, and it is between SET and TTRE for the championship. It is all coming down to that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely amazing week and an amazing time. More news about Season 4 will be coming soon. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please think about leaving a like and subscribing. Also, click on the notification bell to know about all of the content we do. There's also a link to our Discord server down below. If the invite doesn't work, I'll fix it for next race. So make sure to join us for Fours or for Tier 1 next week. Also, big thanks to our affiliate Simracing Centre. There should be a link in there for them. If there isn't, again, it will be there next week, or you could see it in the previous race. There was the link there. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.